Manufacturing of an artisanal incubator with recovery thermostat. Hello dear internet friends. After a very long period of absence, here I am back to tell you about the manufacture of my incubators. Soon dear friends, we will discuss the manufacture of automatic incubators, the wiring of motors or an automatic incubator. This time we will try to go a little further by addressing subjects such as the manufacture of thermostats for incubators or even the programming thermostats to microcontrollers like Arduino, AVR, or PIC. Here I will rather talk about the thermostats that I am used to telling you about at the levels of my previous videos on YouTube. These are mainly thermostats which I call water heaters or furnaces, operation of thermostats. The two thermostats I just mentioned are of the analog type. The thermostat that I call here water heater or autoriston thermostat, has a 220 volts direct current input and a 220 volts output. The thermostat is the brain of our artificial incubator. However, we need other materials to form the complete circuit of our incubator. These materials are, among other things, a heat source, a light source, a ventilation source, means of controlling certain functions of the incubator from the outside. For the heat source, an electric resistance or incandescent bulbs can be used. For the light source, we can use a LED bulb. LED bulbs do not radiate much heat, which is the main reason we recommend it. Its role is to allow viewing inside the incubator without opening it. If you forget, the LED bulb will be safe for the incubator because it does not radiate much heat. To increase the performance of our incubator, we need an air stirrer, a fan operating at a voltage of 220 V. It helps to homogenize the temperature inside the incubator. To control the incubator, we need the switches. Among other features of the incubator, you can control the general power of the incubator, the bulb for viewing the interior, the fan and so on. The analog thermostat. This element is used to regulate the temperature within the incubator. It has a circular set point that allows the temperature to be adjusted according to the eggs to be incubated. These incubation temperatures are most often between 37 and 38 degrees Celsius. Temperatures beyond these extremes can be fatal for incubation or even fatal for developing germs. Important note: when it comes to the manufacture of homemade incubators, there are people who confuse ventilation of the incubator with aeration of the incubator. As we have already mentioned above, ventilation or air mixing consists in homogenizing the temperature of the air mixed within the incubator. Aeration, on the other hand, involves bringing new air into the incubator. It promotes the evacuation of gases produced by germs in developing states. They breathe constantly, releasing gases which can be a source of intoxication if not renewed. It is therefore necessary to make ventilation holes at the level of the incubator, and this will be done in proportion to the size of the incubator. I have never set foot in an electrical training center. I have never asked to learn an electrical course, but today I manufacture my incubators according to my needs. My plan, the main thing is to protect you dangerous situations and let your common sense guide you and you will be fine. Wiring assembly of our artisanal incubator. Fitting a thermostat is not a complex task for people who have mastered the basics of electrical connection. If you are able to install a bulb that can be controlled by means of a switch, on a 220 V mains electricity supply, so you have all the expertise required for the wiring of your homemade incubator. It requires compliance with some basic wiring rules to be implemented and everything will be fine. Here are the different steps to follow for the wiring of our incubator. Step number 1. We will first assemble the power supply for our thermostat. The type of thermostat I use works on 220 V. Without connecting it to the current, we add a cable to power the thermostat. Step number 2. We want to control the power to the incubator with a switch that allows us to turn the incubator on or off. For example, we must cut the red wire to connect it to the two terminals of our main switch. Step number 3. We want to control the power to the incubator with a switch that allows us to turn the incubator on or off. For example, we must cut the red wire to connect it to the two terminals of our main switch. Step number 4, wiring the fan and the heating bulb. The fan must be connected to the 220V output of the thermostat. The heating resistor or bulb is connected in parallel with the 220V output of the thermostat. Step number 5, add a switch for the fan. Optional. The majority of incubators on the internet do not turn off their ventilators. On the other hand, others stop the fan during the hatching period to prevent the chicks from drying out in the egg. For this reason they stop the fan. Step number 6, facilitating the wiring. From these steps you can move on to the manufacture of the incubator. If you have knowledge of electronics, you can make a printed circuit board to facilitate assembly. Here is an example made under Proteus 8.9. If you can complete the circuit, I will upload the artwork to you. Here is the definition of the legend of the printed circuit board. TSN, neutral output thermostat. TSP, thermostat phase output. 10, neutral input thermostat. DEP, phase input thermostat. GE, switch, general breaker switch. Fan/SW, fan switch. Fan, ventilo. Bulb, heating bulb. SW on/off incorporated.B, bulb switch. Incorporated.bulb, lighting bulb. Step number 8, connection of the components on the printed circuit. If you have knowledge of electronics, you can make this assembly through the realization of the homemade printed circuit. I will put this artwork for you in the description part of my YouTube video. You can ask for guides on YouTube that will teach you how to make a printed circuit board from artwork. This step is optional because you can do the wiring manually. Here is an image which gives the details of the wiring. Picture 11 Connection 7. Other images of the creation of the incubator. We have added a link of the thermostat used in this video in description part.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to encourage us to post lots of video. You can also like and share the video.